Happy Friday! You know what that means? Another first chapter Friday. Today I'm sharing with you what we consider a modern classic. So this is a book that probably most of or a lot of your teachers have actually read before. You'll notice our gold star, right? This means that it actually won the John Newbery Medal. This is an incredible story, but it's a really difficult story to read. It is a historical fiction novel, so it's based on things that have really happened before. It's actually based in the 1920s during a part of our country's history known as the Dust Bowl. So many families went through really difficult times because there was great famine. People couldn't provide food for themselves, and our agriculture was really disrupted. So there was basically just dryness and dust in vast parts of our country. And this is a beautiful story about that experience and how difficult many times throughout history have been for people. So this is not for the lighthearted. Like, don't go into reading this story thinking that it's all just going to be rainbows and ponies and great because it has this award. It is a beautifully written, really great story, but it is a really raw, sometimes difficult story to read. It is written in what's called verse, free verse. So this is actually a poetry novel. So it's what's called a novel in verse. So it's written in small poems, which I'm going to read you one. It starts by telling you the different seasons they're going through. So I'm sorry, I said 1920s. It's 1930s. Well, this is winter 1934 when the story starts. It's going to take you through her life. Her name is Billy Joe, I'm sorry. But this is a story called Out of the Dust. So it just has reviews on the back. So I'm actually just going to read you the first, now that you've kind of been given some background into Billy Joe and what her life is going to be like in the Dust Bowl. I'm going to read you the first verse, the first poem, so you can kind of understand the way it's written. Okay, so the first poem, notice it's not written like a regular story. The first poem is the beginning of August 1920. That's what it's titled. As summer wheat came ripe, so did I. Born at home on the kitchen floor, Ma crouched, barefoot, bare-bottomed, over the swept boards because that's where Daddy said it'd be best. I came too fast for the doctor, bawling as soon as Daddy wiped his hand around the inside of my mouth. To hear Ma tell it, I hollered myself red the day I was born. Red's the color I've stayed ever since. Daddy named me Billy Joe. He wanted a boy. Instead, he got a long-legged girl with a wide mouth and cheekbones like bicycle handles. He got a red-headed, freckle-faced, narrow-hipped girl with a fondness for apples and a hunger for playing fierce piano. From the earliest I can remember, I've been restless in this little panhandle shack we call home, always getting in Ma's way with my pointy elbows and fidgety legs. By the summer I turned 9, Daddy had given up about having a boy. He tried making me do. I look just like him. I can handle myself most everywhere he puts me, even on the tractor, though I don't like that much. Ma tried having other babies. It never seemed to go right, except with me. But this morning, Ma let on as how she's expecting again. Other than the 3 of us, there's not much family to speak of. Daddy, the only boy Kelby left since Grandpa died from cancer that ate up most of his skin, and Aunt Ellis, almost 14 years older than Daddy, and living in Lubbock, a ways south of here, and a whole world apart to hear Daddy tell it. And Mom, with only great Uncle Floyd, old as ancient Indian bones, and mean as a rattler, rotting away in that room down in Dallas. I'll be nearly 14, just like Aunt Alice was when Daddy was born, by the time this baby comes. Wonder if Daddy'll get his boy this time. Just as a note, that was from January of 1934. So now we go to the next one, and this is titled something else. So this one is called Rabbit Battles. And so this is gonna be still telling Billy Joe's story, but it's telling a different portion of it. And so the story continues, and it has a note on the end of each one of the year. So this is just still January 1934. It will continue telling the story. This is an incredible story. I remember when I was in probably 5th grade when I read this story, and it just, you learn a lot. You learn about the human experience, and life is not always rainbows and ponies, and it's sometimes difficult. And so this is a great story, a really beautifully written story that I think is important for everyone to read, and I would love to talk to you about it. So please come down and try out a novel in verse. This is Out of the Dust by Karen Hess, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.